The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us in the Real Estate House Party.
I think Tony's
he's playing air trumpet.
No, but I think he's looking for a parade.
He's doing it right now.
I was doing the horns.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got our.
Should I get my flag out?
He's got the horn section.
I got that.
You know,
Dun,
around the
dun,
office we have to give them parades every once in a while. When they do any type of job at all,
Yeah.
that's required of them.
You should have- yeah.
They ask for a parade.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm too easy on them?
No, I don't know why you don't have confetti cannons.
Well,
we have those, and-
sometimes I have a flag on my desk, and sometimes I just think that we're all rock stars, and I get up, and before you know it, all the employees are marching behind me.
There you go.
The flag's going to be at half mast one of these days because I
Start
take
a
her out.
Start.
No, I'm only kidding.
Okay. So I guess you're not going to dedicate your book to me.
I'm going to dedicate it
All right, you can go to
only
jail.
to Kathy Holtshouser. Is that what you're saying?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about.
Do you
I
really
feel
have
like
my
It's
Red
not
Sox?
like us.
My
Yeah,
Red Sox
I do.
hat in
Why,
your
do you
car.
like it?
Yeah, you were supposed to get me one.
All right. Last week I was?
No, like 2 months ago.
Oh, all right. Do you want this one instead?
No, you said it's
too
in your
much,
car.
Too much sweat?
You said
All
there's
right.
one in the car.
Well, it might be looking like this. Can we get back to business? You always seem to.
I know. I got places to go, so let's get going.
All right. So I promised this last week that we're going to talk about some expressions and kind of, things. All right. This is where I'm
Things
getting it.
that real estate agents
This is
should
what I'm
or
gonna-
shouldn't
this is-
say.
Yes, exactly. And this is where I'm getting from. Some people have stock answers. And I shouldn't say this because hopefully the girl isn't watching, but I dealt with this girl for the first time the other day.
Yeah.
End of the conversation. You know what she says to me? She goes, "I love you." She thought she was talking to her father. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean." She goes, "I always say that to my father at the end of the conversation."
So what you're really telling us is she's genuine.
Yeah.
Well, unless she really loves me.
She doesn't
no,
really
just
love
got
you.
Oh, that's too
good,
bad because
right.
I told her I loved her afterwards. I didn't want to leave her hanging.
Yeah. You
Well,
know,
I love you too.
yeah. I'm always aware that my biggest fear is that I'm going to be in line at a wake and shake someone's hand and go, "Congratulations." That's my biggest. Because
You got to get in the right mindset.
yeah, you gotta really think.
And say, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Hey, right. Sorry
Congratulations.
for you. But when you're shaking someone's hand,
you
you
must
Well,
have.
then you might know something that no one
They-
else
I
knows.
was going to say.
Right.
Oh,
You
might
want a
be-
parade?
congratulations. Oh, you knew him. Thank you.
You get a parade.
Yeah, you get some parades. All right, so we're going to give you a parade when you get back to the office, all right?
Well, yeah, conversely,
Next
you
week?
could do it at a wedding and go.
So
My
sorry.
condolences.
Sorry.
My condolences. and I can give you the same answer. Oh, so you do know him.
You do know.
All right, so expressions. All right, I'm going to throw out stuff.
I love this game.
I know. So I'm your MC for the day. I'm going to throw out expressions. Do you see if there's a problem with it or not?
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Let's
so
go, Tony.
Here it
I'm
is.
ready.
Here it is.
Did you get your buzzer ready?
This is an actual case. The broker said to the potential tenant, "Where are you from?"
No.
You cannot.
You cannot
Absolutely. It's discrimination.
Yes.
And it goes against their ethical codes of a
And
real estate
All that
agent.
stuff, because you might be trying to ask where they're from,
Right.
literally,
Right.
as opposed to I think the poor girl is just trying to make conversation.
Well, of course.
Right.
Like, how do you reword that then? Let's play that game too.
Yeah, that's a good one. So,
What would you ask if you wanted to know where they were from?
well, you're not supposed to even.
You're not supposed to ask.
I know, but how would you do it, Mr. Creative?
You're not from the United States, are you?
No, you can't do
can't
that.
ask that.
That's my point.
Right.
You can't
okay.
say that stuff.
So guess what? You're never going to find out where they're from unless
Right.
they
They
tell
offer
you.
that.
Right. So, all right.
But then you can't use it
Yeah,
against them.
what you could say, I've Been traveling some. Have you ever been to Albania?
Have you? And when you traveled there, did you live there? And are you currently living there?
And do you go to a mosque?
Like, what would your weekends be like?
during
How do you
during
kill
Passover?
time during religious holidays?
Do you go to church on Saturday or Sunday?
Okay, so you
Do
can't
you
ask
wear
that.
No.
moccasins when you do?
Okay.
All right. Oh.
No, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, you always go too
All
far.
right, I go too. All right. Can you say this to a client? Don't worry about it. Just get a handyman to take care of that
No,
issue.
you can't. Absolutely, you can't say that.
Why not?
You can disclose it
Right.
if you're asked.
Well, the problem is what if a handyman can't just take care of it?
Exactly. It could be a huge
And that's going to
problem.
come back and really haunt the
So-
buyer, and then obviously the broker.
Right, because then what do they call that? 91A?
93.
93A.
91A is when you almost get to the
Yeah.
93A.
Oh,
So when
Yeah.
get to that point there. So
You go, no, all you need is some duct tape and some spackle.
right.
So-
You'll be
Exactly.
fine.
And then
So
when they
there-
find out it's like major renovation.
So say the example would be a little spot on the ceiling. Well, you just got to get a handyman to
touch
touch it up.
Yeah.
But if you
Could be mold.
what if
could-
it's great? Good point.
Well, it could
What if it's
be
a leak?
leaking roof,
Right.
And your roof needs
Right.
to be replaced.
So-
Could be blood.
Right.
yeah,
You know.
or something else.
Yeah.
Bodily fluid
What, so
from a
any
dead.
sort of-
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, never mind. Just next.
Just leakage. It could be just leakage.
From the mortgage discharge.
Sure.
What?
you
What?
go on to the
What? That's what put you over the top. From the moist roof.
Oh my God, you guys know better than this.
Some
I
running,
said in the very beginning.
running back and forth repeatedly on the big deck in the rear.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I go, is there a big deck in the rear?
I said before the show we might have some trigger problems with this particular
that was
show.
my favorite.
That
my
was pretty
favorite
good.
radio show we've ever done.
That was funny, and it was a legitimate ad too.
I know.
Yeah.
But it had a typo.
Yeah.
In the second word.
One consonant throws.
The whole thing
No,
out.
it's not a consonant. Vowel.
One vowel throws everything off now, doesn't it?
Get
So-
it? Get it?
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Don't worry about it. You'll be able to get financing on this property.
Nope, you
No.
cannot say that.
You don't know.
You don't
Don't
know.
tell them
You
not to
don't know.
worry about anything.
You can't say anything.
No.
Right.
You can't say
How about
anything.
you just, yeah.
All right, here's an example. Some might think they can get financing if you
Oh, maybe you could do it like charades.
Yeah, just don't
Go
say
ahead.
anything.
2 words.
Sounds like
Sounds like.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
if you work at a cannabis
Yeah.
Company.
you might not be able to get a federally approved loan.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
Yeah, because they don't
recognize it.
recognize it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, because it's state to state.
It's state
okay,
to state.
I get it.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
not
that.
federally
Right.
approved.
Well then.
Oh, here's a good one. I just saw this today. This is a good. I wasn't going to bring this one up, but
Oh, here he goes.
What if you have a situation where this isn't a question, but a situation? How would you handle this? The seller is about to sell their house, about to start doing their open houses, and the broker sees that all one floor is completely marijuana. They're growing marijuana in this one particular floor
Yeah.
and room.
Yeah.
Should that broker just package everything up and get it out of there?
It's
Oh.
legal to grow marijuana, right?
But they might think you can't travel with it. It's almost looks
Oh,
like
so no, the broker should not pack it up.
right.
Probably put it in the backyard.
Right.
That's a
Or
good.
just roll it and smoke it.
Right.
Right there.
Right.
The whole thing.
Right.
Set the house on fire.
Yeah.
Put a dome over it.
Tell them
Take a
it's.
snort every now and again.
Tell them that they're
See,
that sunflower plants.
Right, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. You guys are solution solvers. I
I
like
know.
that. So,
So
all right.
you're scrubbing the air of carbon monoxide.
Right, and it could be a meth lab.
You
so
know, it'd be
you know,
worse.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're generally in the basement.
Always
Meth
in the basement.
labs, yeah.
Yeah.
And typically,
you
if
never have those out on the porch.
No, hardly
No,
ever.
'cause-
Hardly
no.
ever.
You know, you stay away from that for some reason. So,
But if you run a meth lab out of your house, doesn't it contaminate the walls and the
you
floors?
tell us.
I
Sounds
believe
like you
so.
have okay.
Okay,
Sounds
yeah,
like you have
I
some good
couldn't sell
experience.
my house. I didn't know what to do. I go, who told you there was a meth lab down
People
here?
always get deposited in shallow graves out back. What's up?
That's, listen, I've been railing against that for years. If you're going to take the time to bury a body,
Yeah, why
Hey,
not?
put some effort into it.
dig the grave deeper.
Right,
Save
right.
yourself a little trouble on the back end.
The buyer that's coming in sees that little mound out
Right,
back there,
right.
a 6 foot.
Yeah,
What's out
that's
there?
the septic system.
Yeah. All right. So we know we know the answers to these, but when someone asks you a broker a legal question, I'm not sure if you should be giving answers.
Well, you just answered our question.
I know, but you could still
I thought
elaborate.
we were playing a game.
You can still elaborate.
Of course you can't. She's not
All
an
right,
attorney.
all right.
He or she is not an attorney.
I-
But the
either-
greatest answer would be to, you know what? I'm not an attorney, so
Maybe
I'm
you should
gonna.
call.
An attorney.
What's his name? What is that crazy guy's name that has the comedian show up at his seat?
We even have a
Continuing
jingle.
Ed. What is his name?
Jesus.
What is
guys
that
are- You
comedian's
guys are the worst
name?
marketing people ever.
Richard
Richard
Carter.
Carter office 781-944-92.
22.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
all right.
despite what you hear on this show, Rick really knows what he's doing.
Do know what we're doing.
Usually.
Yeah.
No, he
in
actually-
a very limited area. I'm very good
He's
at.
really good.
No, but
Don't come to me if you get pulled over in criminal work. I always tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Bring your toothbrush. You're
Yeah.
going away
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
just-
So here's some legal questions.
They give you a toothbrush.
Do they?
I don't know.
You
They
know.
probably charge you for
I
it.
know.
What jumpsuit colors you wearing these days?
Well, you know what? I don't really look good in orange, but
Is that why you've been staying out of jail lately? Poor kid.
But I heard
When we
orange.
hired her, she was literally in the streets of Winchester. I felt so bad for her.
I-
do something.
You're a good man.
Yeah,
I
know.
heard orange is the new black. So,
All right, okay.
So if something happens to me, I guess I'll have to roll
All right,
with
so
it.
if you have a client who asked, this one is just so loaded. What should I do with the money after I sell my property? Should I invest it?
Oh my God.
Who are you asking
Even-
this of?
So the seller asked the broker.
Yeah.
Says, I just sold my house for $1 million. I have no mortgage on it. I'm going to be sitting with $1 million. What should I do with all my money?
Sure.
And so
Put it all on
we
red.
don't. If you have that question, don't ask Tony V.
Put it all on red.
This is where we're like
So-
the Animal House. The devil on the side. And
So the question there, or
You
the
could have $2 million at the end.
I know. Don't ask Tony V, please. So, but don't
should we
ask
have any
us.
disclaimers to any of this show right off the bat?
Yeah, don't
Well, if
ask
they're
me.
listening to Tony V about $1 million, then they're a lost cause.
The
But-
real estate house party said I should put it
Put it
on
on
red.
red.
I am going after them. You know it's going to happen.
So
Go ahead.
the point of this or that comment is even we as an attorney's office will not answer that question.
Can't answer that question.
No.
No.
Are you kidding? Give it to me.
Yeah,
I tried that
that-
once.
that's
No,
a good
imagine how
question.
badly that could go. Is I have someone you can invest the money with, and
Right.
that goes down
That
the
goes-
tube. There.
oh,
That's
no.
So we had a situation at the end of this past year that they closed on like December 28th or
I
whatever
have that
day.
in my
Yeah.
notes here. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to have to pay capital gains on there. The seller was going to have to pay capital
I know where
gains
this
on
is
there.
going
Oh,
already.
yeah.
And
It's not good.
And the real estate agent
With a straight face.
told
to
told
delay it.
told the seller not to deposit it until the next
Next
year,
year.
and then that the seller would be all set.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're still laughing about that.
I don't know anything, and that sounds like dumb idea.
No, you do know things.
Just hold on to it for a few days,
days.
and then you can do it.
Then, yeah, and you'll skirt it. No.
So here's similar to that, but kind of more of a, I guess, minor nature. What would my capital gains be on the sale of my home?
Can't answer that
Can't-
question.
don't know that.
Don't
Don't
know
know your
that.
circumstance.
You're right,
Don't know
right.
what.
And I
Right.
just had that happen. We had a
yeah.
seller
Yeah.
that he was a resident alien, or he was legal to be in the United States.
Yeah.
Had a social security number, paid taxes, owned a home as his primary
Don't look
residence.
at Chrissy like that with
No,
such.
Because I don't know the exact term for it.
They lived here, just didn't have United States citizenship yet. Is that what it was?
There were
He's a legal
Permanent resident.
permanent resident,
Non-citizen.
legal,
Yeah,
non-citizen.
that's actually a good question. So,
Right.
well, go ahead.
So I said, and he goes, I don't know anything about capital gains. I go, I don't either. All I know, what I have to do is if you answer yes to any of these questions or no to any of these questions,
Right.
it triggers me to file a 1099. And what you do with that 1099 is up to you.
Right.
You need to go talk a tax
Right.
account.
Right.
So
Now, let me ask you this with capital gains and a semi-real
Yeah.
thing. We've talked about trusts before.
Yeah.
Does that help with capital gains at all?
No.
Like if there's 4 people in the trust that you can't disperse it over, like say it was $1 million, you couldn't give $250,000 to each person.
So it's a great question.
Right.
It probably won't affect, and even more so, people always think with a trust, you don't
That
have
they're
to do
exempt.
it from inheritance tax.
Right.
Right.
So the answer is no.
No.
So the bottom line is
They're going to get something.
Yeah, the
well,
government-
they're gonna,
government
there's
has
no
figured
way
this
to
out.
skirt
Right.
capital
Taxes.
gains
Right.
taxes and inheritance taxes and there's typically not a lot of ways to skirt the Medicaid and Medicare liens if
Right.
you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that has to be something set up well in advance of any dementia and or
We're hitting a lot of stuff. So you're
right.
right. You're right. So there's one exception. If the person died over 10 years ago,
Yeah.
That's
he
what
might
I mean.
he might
So-
not right. But that's actually a real good point. Anyone who owns property, and I think we probably mentioned it before, should put some sort of durable power of attorney in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because if you die, most people have wills, you know, so it's taken care of. But what happens if one of the sellers, we've had a few of these lately there, where a seller has dementia.
Right.
And they can't sell the house.
They can't sell, so you have to get a conservatorship on something like that.
I see.
So so there's a lot of, and then our answer, because we're real estate attorney's office. I sometimes think I'm an attorney.
You
but,
are.
yeah.
You know more than attorneys.
No, I don't.
And you're not bound by the same ridiculous laws. That
You're right.
they
I
are.
can say anything
you can
I
say
want.
anything you want.
There's no
Are you
restraints
an
at all.
attorney? No.
So I can say this.
My opinion.
Definitely have to go to an elder care attorney
Yes.
that does this every
Every-
single day, and
Yeah.
they know
Knows how
the
to-
laws
yeah.
in the state of New Hampshire and
Yeah.
Massachusetts,
Yeah.
and they can help you navigate
know-
way better than us.
I don't know if I've ever said this on this show, but I don't hope I get Alzheimer's. But
no,
if
I
I
haven't
do,
heard that on this show at all.
no, right. But if I do get Alzheimer's,
Yep.
runs in my family.
Yeah.
I hope I get Tourette's with it.
You will.
Yeah.
I think that
'Cause
comes.
why shouldn't I be entertaining even if I don't know it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Tourette sometimes goes hand in hand.
With the Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because they.
I think
Oh,
people
so you're
think
making his dream come true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we don't wish that on anybody. by the
No,
way.
no. But there's a new.
It's my hope.
There's a new Alzheimer's drug out that is
Yes.
FDA approved just this week. I
Oh,
think.
good, because I think all of us on this panel are going to need it.
But I heard. I don't know how it works. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess it slows down the
process?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but at some point you're too far in.
Can he still
Yeah.
get Tourette's though, or does
He
it
can
take care of
pretend.
that?
You know.
Right-
I got a good idea.
Right
All right.
now, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You can pretend you have Alzheimer's.
Right now, I have at least 3 things that my doctor says don't worry about because something else will kill you before these do.
Okay.
So I got that going for me.
Yeah. No, that is true.
And then
yeah.
he said, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to say those words to anyone.
"No,
right?
you do that." Yeah.
My doctor does because he knows who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I'm always goofing with
What
them.
I get nervous about is when the doctors start skipping some of the tests because they think you're at an age where it doesn't really
It doesn't
matter.
matter.
Right.
I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
We're not
I said,
wasting
hey,
our
are you
resources.
supposed to be doing this to me? And
Right.
they're same thing there.
Right.
All
That's
right,
why
so
I shouldn't vote for a bridge that I'm not going to cross.
right, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Since you brought this up,
I did.
where do you think you'd have the most problems with Tourette's? Say you didn't have Alzheimer's,
And you just had Tourette's?
just had Tourette's.
Right. Now
in what circumstances do you think you'd have the most
A
problems?
heckler.
A heckler, yeah.
Oh,
Right?
that's a good
Yeah,
one.
in the audience.
That is a very
Yeah.
good
Ding
one.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And
You're gonna get a parade today. I'm
Let-
telling you,
I
you're
know,
not
I
gonna
know, I
dead
know,
today.
I
I'll tell
know.
you that right now.
And let's be honest, we're not making fun of Tourette's.
No,
It's a real thing.
No.
But
all right, let's not
I,
even
in
say
the
Tourette's.
past,
If you could say whatever's
No.
on your mind.
I have done, years ago, we did a fundraiser benefit for people with Tourette's, and at the last minute they told us there were people with Tourette's in the audience.
the building, yeah.
And I go, I wish we knew this before because some of the timing was just perfect.
Right.
And I actually at one point said, look, I know some of you have a disease, but your timing is just wonderful. It was one of the funniest nights we ever had.
Listen, I think that we'd all do great if we all had that kind of blur. Like,
Oh, you have that anyway. When have you
Yeah,
ever
you pretty much
straight-
say speak your mind.
When have you ever
but
straight
I would
said,
never want to hurt someone's feelings.
No.
oh, no, you would never do that. When have you ever said, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that?
Oh, no, she says that all the time, but she says it anyway.
right.
No, it's
I don't
like
want to hurt your feelings, but.
Or like,
Right.
please don't be offended.
Offended.
Oh, yeah,
However,
yeah, yeah.
However.
Yeah. You might not like this, what I'm about to say. Well,
Right.
you're probably not going to.
No offense,
No,
but.
Right.
All right, so hecklers, that is a good one.
Yeah. That'd
All
be
right,
good.
Just
Thank
like
you.
to rip them apart. All right.
what would you? So I know what mine would be. Mine would be to Laurie N.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I would do it to belligerent buyers that
Yeah.
are just nasty mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't get a lot of those.
No.
Right? No.
I had one once, and the husband was just up one side of me and down the other, and the wife called back because I was
To
crying.
apologize. Yeah.
This was like 20 years ago, but the wife called back to apologize
Yeah.
for her husband's behavior.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted our cut of the title insurance. And I said, I can't do that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
that sounds
what
fair.
was his?
Yeah.
What was his?
He just thought he was better than.
Yeah.
He didn't think we'd.
Can we
should-
get some of your salary each week? Can we?
It's bizarre what people
Oh.
think they're entitled to.
Yeah.
Let's just see what people have come up with us.
Right.
Maybe we'll have a show on that sometime.
Yeah.
Just instead of us coaching brokers or whatnot to say what buyers probably should not say
Say-
to us.
right.
You know what? One broker said, this is probably within the last year, which you should never say, but said it was a referral from us to this banker, and the broker told me this because I might not be using this banker ever again. I go, what did the banker say? He says he kind of yelled at my buyer and said, "You're not my only client."
Oh my God!
That's not a good
probably the
bedside
worst
manner.
thing in the
Yeah.
world.
You
might as
need
well
to
say,
be. You
You
need to
need
be.
to
You
at
need to
least-
tell someone
right.
you are my only
Sure,
client.
of course.
Or act like you are my
Act
only
like
client.
that
Right.
way. Yeah, of
Right.
course.
And
Right.
if someone calls
need a
and
new bank.
they're looking for something from me, I go, you know what? You are next on my list. I will get
That's
back
a
to you
great
oh,
shortly.
you
thing
are
to
very
say.
good at that.
Yeah.
You take all your calls.
Right.
Yeah. Even if she's not talking to me for weeks,
Yeah.
she'll answer my emails.
Yeah.
I answer your calls.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harassing.
Not harassing. Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh boy, I can't believe we've gone off track again
We
today.
have not.
All right, so
We are playing a game that you
All right.
ruined.
I ruined because I
Yeah.
started giving you the answers.
Right. Because
Okay.
I want to answer them. I want to feel
She's right.
accomplished.
She
Right.
ma- She makes
Yeah.
a point.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Tony.
All right. If the majority of the panel thinks I should give you more opportunity to answer.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you just want me to shut up.
No. I
Never.
never said that at all.
We don't ask for the impossible.
She just asked me where I would do it if I ever had Tourette's. There we
There,
go.
right there. Right.
No, I'm kidding. It's just a lot of fun.
I'm having a lot of like
It's
self-esteem.
no, it's a
No,
lot
you're
of fun.
not. No, you're not.
You have more self-esteem. Don't worry
No,
about
you're
your
not.
self-esteem. Hey, AI, we were talking about that our last
AI,
show there.
yeah.
That is going
We
to get a
were?
little
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
about taking people's voices and things like
Yeah.
that.
I know it, but it's really scary. Like things have really started to
I know.
ramp up.
Listen, when the people that invented AI go to Congress and say, you got to do
This is
something
not
about
Yeah, this is not a good
We're
idea.
out of control.
Yeah.
So an AI question for you, and I'll answer because it sounds like I've been monopolizing the answers. If a seller says to their broker, "Can I Photoshop my pictures?" which is kind of from the AI.
You absolutely cannot do that.
Okay, all right.
No.
No, you can't do that.
That's
That's
misrepresentation.
misrepresentation.
All right.
I mean, I do it in my headshots
Yeah.
all the time. You should see what I look like on paper. I'm fantastic. But not selling a house.
So this is up for a little bit of a discussion.
Yeah,
So, but when
that's what
you
we're
have
here for.
when you have a photographer go in,
Yeah.
they don't Photoshop, but they definitely have angles
Angles
and
and-
Right.
lighting
Yes.
and
Right.
Yeah.
that make things look bigger than they are, or
Well, we had a closing like that where the guy called me not the day before, an hour before the closing, says, I'm not closing.
Oh, yeah.
I go, what do you mean you're not closing? He goes, I just did my walkthrough at the condo, and it looks nothing
like the pictures. And Rick goes, well, why didn't you go look at it
Well,
before you put
before
an
you-
offer in?
Quite like
Right.
that, but I
But I
said,
said-
well, what was your, how about a home inspection? He goes, I never had a home inspection. I go, well, did anyone view the condo for you? He goes, no, this is the first time I've ever seen the thing. And he says, the floors are warped. It's not as big as I thought. I'm thinking, you saw it, a few pictures on website and you
right.
bought it. He goes, I'm walking away. That's it.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, you certainly can do it. He just loses his deposit money.
Right.
I was good on that. I got half his money back.
Did you really?
Which he had no prayer to get. He
Rick's,
goes,
Rick's good at that.
he says, I don't care. I said, you're losing your whole deposit. This is the reason you have a deposit money. The sellers are expecting you to, they're going to
Perform.
lose money.
Right. Sure.
He goes, they can have the whole money. I don't care. I don't
Right.
care. I don't want any
Wow.
money back. There was probably more to the story, but he says, no, the floors are warped. The rooms were in his
should've
Who buys a house without looking
I
at
know,
it?
that's my point. I know.
Was he a millennial?
He was.
Ah,
He was.
there you go.
He was. And he knew nothing about the neighborhood. And I think I have a theory where if you don't personalize yourself with like the house and the neighborhood, you can really easily walk away from the. You don't.
Right.
It's not,
You're
You're
not
not
dreaming
invested.
about.
you're not
Yeah.
invested at all.
Right.
So this guy, talk about not being invested. So yeah, he just decided.
So, but
No,
but
I'm
my
sure it was
point
a-
was that there is trickery in professional
right.
photographers.
There's a fine line. So you know
Between
you could
Photoshop
probably
and trickery.
You probably can get rid of a trash can that's out front, but I mean you shouldn't be making the rooms. You ever see those pictures online there where they show it's actually they do it in a comical way. They show a pool in front of the house, and it's very cool how they do it. The photography makes it look like the pool's like 40 by 25.
Right.
And then they show the real picture. It's about 3 by 4 feet. It's actually pretty cool how they
Right.
do it. So, but you're right. I mean,
So there
at
is
some
a
point,
there is
right,
so- there
right,
is
right.
that's
If
like
you're gonna
up for discussion.
Make a
Right.
major purchase, you should go look at it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
foolish.
Yeah.
Save that for the September
Yeah.
seminar. That
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna
Oh,
have.
yeah. Tony-
We doing another one in
Yeah.
September?
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back by popular demand.
Oh, you
Always
kidding me? We have to
Attorney
go now.
Tony V.
I love those events.
We'll be there in the background. Oh, is this Rick and Kathy? So
No,
Tony
Kathy
will
didn't
take
even come.
Tony will be taking the meeting. All right, here's a question for
We'll
you.
be at the Boatport again?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I gotta sign us up and now. Oh yeah, they've all been asking. I know. So that was a home run there. So all the brokers out there, if you'd like to get a hold of us,
You better call us.
better call us soon. Do we have a phone number? You
Yeah.
you forgot it
And
last show.
No, 781-944-9222.
All right. Here's another question. Buyer does not want to reimburse the seller for the oil in the property.
Well, they have to because it's right typically in the purchase and sale agreement.
Okay. So
Any good real estate attorney would make sure that language is in the purchase and sale agreement.
so that buyer can't tell, which I've had a couple of.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it. Have them suck it
Have
out.
them suck it out of the tank. I think that's a little.
They're going to have to put it back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That was my point. That's
Right.
why I said, listen, you're gonna have to order. It's so expensive. I go, it's not any
It's-
less expensive.
Right,
Now
it's the
you're-
Because
same.
you're
right.
ordering it yourself.
And I'm sure the prices are more now than
Right,
they were when
right,
they
right,
bought it before.
right.
Right.
And we talked about this a little bit, but this is a good recap on. All right, I'll ask it as a question since you don't like me giving the answers. Should brokers exaggerate on the seller's description of property?
Absolutely not.
No.
They should just disclose.
It doesn't matter, and you can't lie. You cannot not tell the truth on it. Over talking, like when you have a buyer and a seller sitting in a room,
Right.
and the seller starts telling the buyer about all these bad things in the neighborhood.
That'll
and-
be the next
Or
question.
the fence is up on a prayer. It's the next snowstorm is coming down,
Yeah, yeah.
and the
Oh,
hot
yeah.
tub goes off intermittently during
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
winter.
Sure.
And so
Look, Kath, you and I both know we've been in interrogation rooms.
yes,
The detective's job is to keep you talking
Right.
till you disclose something you shouldn't.
right.
So you say less.
But I guess he's right.
He's so right.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's
So
right.
that's why the closings these days, like typically the buyer doesn't know the seller, and the seller doesn't know the buyer.
No.
That-
So
and
you have 2 points out of this.
Yep.
Don't bring the seller to the closing.
don't bring this
Don't
the
bring
seller.
the seller's 40-year-old son who had the option to buy the house, and he tells everyone in the room, I had the option to buy the house,
But it's a
I
dump.
didn't want to. It's a dump. I don't like the neighbors. The rooms aren't as, this has really happened. The rooms aren't as
Vic's
big
like,
as I
"Shut
thought.
up,
I said,
shut
well,
up."
what? You know what this
I
means?
think-
You know,
It
right
doesn't
here,
mean
right
I'm
here. How about this?
choking.
Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you know what that
It
sign
means you're
means?
supposed to shut up.
Shut it.
Don't talk ever again. And I could
The
tell why.
prime case is less is more.
I could tell why the mother was moving. I don't
All right.
think she's telling. All right, one more.
No,
to
no,
wrap
I
up.
have one more.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. We got plenty of time.
So the other thing is, if you're
Chrissy's
selling,
saying, no, we don't. Go ahead.
if you're a seller,
Yep.
and your mom and dad live with you,
Yep.
and you put the house on the market, you better make sure that your mom and dad are ready to move out of the house.
Yes. Oh, we've had that
And-
lately.
and-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then
They're alive, right?
yeah, and
Up to this point.
Yeah, yeah.
and they're refusing to leave.
They don't want to go.
Yeah.
But guess who's getting the calls? Us.
You.
Yeah.
Saying that we're sidetracking their closing
yeah.
and blowing it up, and they're going to call the Better
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
what
yeah.
is it called? The Better Business Bureau. No,
Your
get
parents
your parents. Control your parents.
And one of them wasn't even an owner of the property.
Right.
I know that was a little messy there. So.
But Messi,
yeah, yeah.
you should have.
It's all going to be
you
in my
should have
book.
had-
Going anywhere.
You should have had Tourette's.
I-
Said
Listen,
GFY, dude.
the last thing about disclosures, get back to that, and I know I've said it probably a few weeks ago, but this is why disclosures shouldn't make a broker, because they all think, oh, if we disclose too much, we're going to blow the deal. Here's 2 situations, and we might have to wrap it up on this. 2
Yep.
situations where that the sale went through without a problem. One was the house was legitimately, well, I shouldn't say legitimate, it was a haunted house. We've
Right.
talked about
Yeah, it
that.
was
Yeah.
But just so I can remind people, I think disclosures is all about timing. And the second one was the squatter.
Right.
Right.
So they said, well, there's you can get a good deal on this, but there's a squatter in the basement.
can't
so
get
they got
the-
a better
we can't
deal.
get the tenant
So
out,
when we talked about that
non-paying
story,
tenant.
I should have extrapolated from there. It's all timing. So if you tell people in the very beginning, there's a possibility it's haunted. Or definitely, there's a squatter in the basement.
That I
So
haven't
if you
been able to get out.
Right. So if you
for
tell them
10
from
years.
day one, you put in the disclosure, or however you do it, is a lot better than the day before the closing
You
saying,
can't sugarcoat things.
oh, by the way,
It's all
Right.
going to come
there's a
out.
guy
Right.
living in the basement, and the house might be haunted.
Right.
So,
All right,
the
we gotta
point-
go.
We got to go. So the point is, don't worry about disclosures. Disclose so we don't have issues down the
Facts,
road.
There
facts,
you go.
facts.
Right.
Don't
right.
tell the
Pretend
truth.
you have Tourette's and you just blurt out
Blurt
everything about the
everything.
house.
That's it.
all
Tell
right?
the truth, people.
Tell the truth. All right. Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Tony V, Kathy H. We've had a wonderful time. We'll see you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.